Alright class, so today we're going to learn about life cycles. So can anyone tell me what a life cycle is? Can anyone tell me an animal that goes through a life cycle? Do people have life cycles? Yes, people do have life cycles. So as we go through the lesson, understand that as we learn the different stages for a life cycle of a frog, humans go through similar stages as well. And at the end of class, see if you can tell which stage of the life cycle you're in and which stage of the life cycle I'm in. So first we need to go over some vocabulary, words that you're going to need to know in order to understand life cycles. So first, obviously, you need to know what a life cycle is. That is the series of changes in the life of an organism, including reproduction. And development, which is a specified state of growth or advancement. So what that means is, you see this baby raccoon? It grew through stages into an adult raccoon. And now reproduction, which is the production of offspring. So here we have a daddy monkey and a mommy monkey and their baby monkey, which is the offspring. And then we have death, which is the end of the life cycle. So here we have a little angel kitty. And finally, habitat, which is the natural home of an animal in the world. So this elk obviously lives out in like lakes and wooded areas and stuff like that. So that would be the elk's habitat. Alright, so now I'm going to give out worksheets with the life cycle of a frog on it. And there will be room to write notes. And here you're going to write down, where they live, what they eat. It's just some characteristics of the frog during that stage of the life cycle. So I'm handing it out. And then, alright, so birth. All frogs start as eggs. So you can see in here, the little black dots, those are the little frogs that are developing and they're going to hatch. And you can see they're all squished together, and where are they at? They're underwater. Alright, now we're going through their developmental stages. So first they're going to hatch as a tadpole. So does this tadpole look like an adult frog? So what are some differences you can point out? Alright, so tadpoles live in the water. Is there anyone that can tell me why? Well, if you'll look, tadpoles have a long tail. So this means they can't, walk around on legs because they don't have legs or feet, and they can't walk around on land. So they have to swim through the water with their tails. Alright, so what do you think tadpoles eat? What can they easily find in the water? Well, they're pretty small, so tadpoles have to eat the plants that they find floating around in the water. Alright, and now here's another tadpole, but what's something different that you can see on it? Right, if you'll look right there, you can see two little hind legs. So is it starting to look more like an adult frog? Yeah, a little bit, but not a lot. So do you think it still lives in the water? Yeah, because it still has a pretty long tail. So right now it's still probably swimming around because it doesn't have those front legs where it can crawl on land and hop around like an adult frog. Alright, here we have a young frog. So it still has its two back legs, but what else is different about it? Right, now it has the two front legs. And you can see its tail has gotten pretty short, right? So this young tadpole, or this young frog, uses the nutrients stored in its tail as food. That way it doesn't have to go hunt anything, or, so do you think they still live in the water, or can they go on land a little bit? Yeah, they can kind of switch between the two now, since they have their, all of their legs. So what's a new part of the habitat of this young frog? Right, part of the land. And now we are at the adult frog. So you can see it's much bigger in size. And now, does anyone know what it eats? Insects, right. And these frogs, they go into reproduction, which is where they have their offspring. So they make eggs. And these eggs go through the life cycle again that we just learned about. So understand that in nature, animals are constantly being born, growing up, and having more babies, and these babies go through the life cycle again. So in nature, the life cycle just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. And that's why, life can go on, because we have our life cycles. And, the frog, she's done everything she has to do. So now, she's grown old and she dies and the life cycle ends. Alright, so now as a class, we're going to navigate to this website, and each group, this group, this group, this group, and this group, you each have a computer. And if you'll type in this website, type it in there. We're going to go here, and when you get to this website, I want you to wait for it to load. Alright, so we're going to click on play.
Play. Many insects, like butterflies and moths, have 4 separate stages of life cycle, each of which looks completely different.
And when we do this, we're going to watch the video on my computer. So actually, you guys don't click play yet. I'll click play, we'll watch the video, and then I'll tell you what to do. So let me start it over right quick.
Many insects, like butterflies and moths, have 4 separate stages of life cycle, each of which looks completely different and has a different purpose in the life of the insect. A mother butterfly lays eggs on fresh green leaves or stems. After a few days, the shell of the egg breaks and a long worm-like caterpillar comes out. It's also called larva. A larva feeds voraciously and grows quickly in size. It may shed its skin a few times to enclose its rapidly growing body. Once the larva is big enough, it stops eating and enters the transformation stage. This is called a chrysalis, and sometimes also pupa. During this stage, the caterpillar's tissues are broken down and the adult insect's body is formed. After some time, the shell of the pupa breaks and an adult butterfly comes out. Adult butterflies become mature gradually. Female butterflies lay eggs after mating and the next generation is born. The life cycle starts again.
Alright, so did everybody like that video? Do you understand it? Alright, so now on your computers, I want you to click play, and as soon as it starts, click the next button, okay? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and click that.
Click and drop the given words to label the different stages of the life cycle of a
Alright, so this first part, can anyone from this group tell me what that is? Is it a caterpillar, egg, butterfly, or chrysalis? That's right, it's an egg, which is the beginning of the life cycle because the mama butterfly laid the eggs. So what you're gonna do, just take one click, don't hold it down on the egg, the word egg, and drag it over here, and then click again.
Mother butterfly lays eggs.
Alright, group 2, what about this part? Is this a caterpillar, butterfly, or a chrysalis? Right, it's a caterpillar. So we're going to click it
Caterpillar.
and drag it over here.
Caterpillar, also called larva.
So the caterpillar is in what stage? Is it in birth, developing? Is it in adulthood? Is it in reproduction? Right, it's developing. All right, what about this next stage? Is it a butterfly or a chrysalis? Right, it's a chrysalis.
Chrysalis. Chrysalis, also called pupa.
So what is the butterfly doing in the chrysalis? Or what is the caterpillar doing while it's in the chrysalis? Right, it's changing into a butterfly, so it's developing into an adult butterfly. So group 4 was our last option. Butterfly, right.
Butterfly. Mother butterfly lays eggs. You have completed this game. Now try the next one.
Alright, so you heard how it said the mother butterfly lays eggs. So she's restarting the life cycle, right? So then those eggs are going to go through that life cycle again and again and again, and we're just going to have butterflies for a really long time. Alright, so good job everybody on that. Alright, so I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint. Alright, so now we're going to create our own life cycle. So we're going to stay in our same groups. Alright, so group 1, I want you to do penguins. Group 2, you're going to do sharks. Group 3, you're going to do bats. And group 4, you're going to do spiders. Alright, so I'm going to give each group a sheet showing the different stages of the life cycle in jumbled order and not labeled. And these will include characteristics and habitats of the animal in each stage. Alright, so I'm handing them out. Alright, good job anybody. Does anybody have any questions? Alright, good. And now each group is going to present their life cycle, but every member of the group has to contribute and has to say something about their life cycle. So group 1, can you show us the life cycle of your animal, which was the penguin? Alright, group 2, can you show us the life cycle of a shark? Alright, group 3, what about your life cycle of a bat? Alright, good. Group 4, your life cycle of a spider. Alright, good job everybody. So, at this point we're going to talk as a class to see if the animals have the same or different number of stages in their life cycles. We're going to compare and contrast the habitats. We're going to see if they had similar or different foods and similar or different characteristics. So we'll do that. So group 1, you had a penguin. After looking at group 2's life cycle of a shark, do you see any similarities or differences? Alright, good. Now group 3, you did bats. Are there any similarities or differences with group 4's spider? Alright, group 4. Are there any similarities or differences with the shark? Alright, good job everybody. I think you got it. Alright, now students are going to stay in their same groups, and I'm going to call on different groups to answer these questions, and I'm going to make sure each student talks. So today we learned that all animals have a life cycle, including everyone in this room. So who can tell me what stage of the life cycle they're in right now from group 1? You're right, you guys are developing because right now you're just little kids, right? Alright, so group 2. Can anyone tell me what you would look like if you were a frog right now? So think about what stage of the life cycle you're in and what stage that is similar to in a frog's life cycle. Alright, so right, you would be a tadpole. Now would you just have a tail? Would you have back legs? Or do you think you'd have all 4 legs? Yeah, I think you guys would probably have your back legs. Alright, so group 3. If you were a tadpole right now, where would you live and what would you eat? Alright, right, you'd live in the water. And can someone else tell me what they would eat? Alright, right, you would eat plants that are floating around in the water. Alright, so right here, can you guys tell me what you would look like if you were in your animal's life cycle right now? So you guys did spiders. Alright, so right now you guys will be teeny tiny baby spiders, right? Alright, so would you guys be living in a web? What about you guys? As little baby sharks, what would you be eating? Yeah, you'd probably be eating small fish and stuff, right? Alright, what about you guys? I think I got my groups mixed up. We're just gonna go with it. Alright, anyways. They were penguins, they were sharks, so we're gonna switch it. So if you guys were a penguin right now, what would you be eating? Right, so you would be a little baby, so you would be eating the fish and stuff that your mommies and daddies would be bringing to you. And bats, what would you guys be eating right now? Alright, yeah, bats eat insects and stuff in the caves, right? Little baby bats do. Alright, good job, y'all. Alright, so who can tell me what stage of the life cycle I'm in right now from group 3? Alright, right, I've developed into an adult. So if I was a frog, what would I look like? Group 1. Right, I'd be a big frog, right, with all 4 of my legs jumping around. What would I eat, group 2? Right, I'd be eating insects. And group 4, where would I be living? Would I be living in the water or on land? Right, I'd be living on land, but why? Right, because I have all 4 of my legs. Alright, so if I was in y'all's group, in y'all's life cycle as a penguin, what would I look like right now? Right, I'd be a real tall, big mommy penguin, right? Alright, good job, you guys. What if I were a shark? What would I look like right now? Yeah, I'd be a really big mommy shark, right? Alright, what about you guys if I was a bat? Yeah, I'd be pretty big, you know, with my big wings and stuff. And I'd be helping out the little baby bats, right? Alright, and what about if I was a spider? Yeah, I'd probably have big, long, hairy legs and really big eyes and have these big, ginormous webs, right? Alright, so good job, everyone. I think you all really understand what the life cycle is of each animal and you guys did good jobs of comparing the life cycles to each other.